Chosen one, this message didn't reach you by chance. Something powerful is happening in the heavens in your favor. God has a plan for your life, and He wants you to know. The era of exhaustive effort is over. The time of struggling to survive, chasing after sustenance, carrying burdens that aren't yours, all of this ends now. You were chosen to live in abundance, and nothing and no one can prevent it. If you feel trapped in an endless routine, working without seeing progress, know that God didn't create you for the slavery of hard work without reward. You're not here to suffer or to live counting pennies. The Lord has already determined your wealth, prepared the connections, aligned the universe so that prosperity comes to you. You need only trust and receive. This is the moment to awaken. The enemy tried to deceive you, making you believe that without extreme effort, nothing happens. But the divine truth is different. The blessing God has for you doesn't depend on your sweat, but on your faith. When you understand this, everything changes. Doors that were closed will open. Money will begin to find you. The right people will appear in your path. And you'll see that your life will never be the same. Don't ignore this sign. You stand before a divine calling. Stay until the end, because every word that will be spoken here contains the key to the transformation you've been waiting for. This is the moment. Heaven is moving in your favor now. Chosen one, God brought you here because He has something powerful to reveal to you. You're not an ordinary person. You were set apart to live a life of abundance. The scarcity that tried to hold you until now is being broken, because the Lord has decreed a new time over your life. Wealth is already on its way, and no one can stop it. For a long time, they tried to convince you that life is just struggle and suffering, but today, that lie is being destroyed. God's word says that the blessing of the Lord brings wealth without painful toil for it. Proverbs 10:22. This means that prosperity that comes from God doesn't bring burden, doesn't bring anguish, doesn't bring slavery. It flows supernaturally to those who believe. Open your spiritual eyes and see. God has already released resources in your favor. The heavens are moving right now. Money that once seemed difficult to reach will begin to seek you out. Doors that have been closed for years will begin to open. The impossible will be broken, and you will see the miracle happen. No one can steal what God has determined for you. No crisis, no obstacle, no negative word can nullify the divine promise. The enemy tried to deceive you, to trap you in fear, doubt, uncertainty, but the chain has been broken. From now on, your mentality is being renewed to receive abundance. Wealth doesn't depend on your extreme effort, but on your faith. Yes, God honors work, but He doesn't want you to live just chasing after sustenance. The Lord desires for sustenance to come to you. From today, the right opportunities will arise. The right connections will find you, and you'll see that provision comes directly from God's hands. Chosen one, stop doubting. The time of scarcity is over. Your financial life will be transformed. You'll live a new reality where bills will be paid without struggle, where your dreams will come off the paper, where you'll be a channel of blessing for others. This change has already begun. Believe in what's being released now. What was blocked will be unlocked. What was withheld will begin to flow. God is doing something that no one will be able to explain. What once took years will now happen in months, weeks, days. Because when God acts, nothing can stop His movement. The spiritual world is aligning in your favor. Signs will begin to appear. Unexpected money, incredible proposals, sudden solutions. Stay alert, because the manifestation is near. But you need to take a step of faith. You need to declare with conviction, I am chosen to prosper. Write this phrase now in the comments. This prophetic act confirms your faith and activates the promise in your life. Heaven is hearing you, the universe is moving, and your story will never be the same again. Get ready, because your wealth is already arriving. Chosen one, listen carefully. God didn't create you to live exhausted, chasing after sustenance without ever enjoying life. That's not His purpose for you. The system of this world wants to enslave you, wants you to believe that only through extreme effort will you have enough. But that's a lie. True wealth doesn't come from overload, but from divine blessing. From the beginning, God established a powerful principle. He is the provider. Look at the birds of the air. They don't work, they don't accumulate wealth, and yet God takes care of each one of them. How much more will He care for you, who are His beloved child? It's time to change your mindset. You weren't called to survive, but to prosper. The world teaches that the more you work, the more you earn. But God's kingdom operates differently. The secret isn't in excess effort, but in divine favor. When God releases a path, what others take years to achieve, you achieve in days. Doors open without explanation. Opportunities arrive without you having to chase after them. This doesn't mean you should cross your arms and wait. It means your work needs to be aligned with God's direction. When you follow His voice, He guides you to the right places, to the right connections, to strategies that bring multiplication without suffering. Extreme sweat goes out and grace comes in. The word says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Matthew 11:28. God is calling you to this relief. It's not His will that you live stressed, overloaded, and without time to enjoy what He Himself gave you. God's plan is abundance, but also peace. Look around you. See how many people live in an endless cycle of work, always tired, with no time for family, no time for themselves. This cannot be your destiny. The Lord is calling you to a new level, where money works for you and not you for money. From today, believe there is a higher way to prosper. God wants to give you ideas, opportunities, and strategies that will bring results without exhaustion. He wants to position you in places of honor where your income will be multiplied, but your time will be valued. This is His plan for you. Chosen one, understand one thing. Your prosperity doesn't come from your boss, your salary, the government, or any earthly system. The true source of your abundance comes from God. He already decreed your provision even before you were born. The problem is that many times people look in the wrong place and end up living below what was prepared for them. If you've been placing your trust in human effort, in the economy, or in your own abilities, you need to change your mindset now. God's kingdom doesn't function like the world. In the world, wealth comes through struggle, competition, tiredness. But in the kingdom, prosperity flows through faith, obedience, and alignment with the divine will. Look at what happened with Peter. He spent the whole night trying to fish and caught nothing. But it only took one word from Jesus. Cast your net on the other side, and a miraculous catch happened. This proves that when God releases the order, what seemed impossible becomes easy. What you couldn't achieve in years can happen in an instant. Now I ask you, where have you been casting your nets? In self-effort? In anxiety? In uncertainty? Or have you trusted that God has already prepared a path of provision for you? If your trust is in the right place, you'll see supernatural results. Money will begin to seek you out. The right opportunities will come to you. God's blessing will come without burden and without suffering. The biggest barrier that prevents many people from living this abundance is mindset. They still believe they need to struggle alone, that they need to earn prosperity. But the truth is that God has already decided to bless you. What He prepared for you isn't based on your effort, but on His grace. Look at the Israelites in the desert. They didn't plant, didn't harvest, and yet manna fell from heaven every day. God supplied everything, and if He did it before, why wouldn't He do it now? If He fed an entire nation in the desert, He can also release abundant provision for your life. Now, pay attention. This provision has already been released in the spiritual world. What's missing is for you to access it. Just as Peter had to cast the net, you also need to take a step of faith. This might mean a change in how you view money, a new alignment with God's principles, or even making space in your life to receive this abundance. The source of your prosperity is already active. God has already sent the answer. The resources are already on the way. Now, what you need to do is enter this new reality. Stop thinking small. Stop accepting scarcity as normal. Choose to live as someone who knows they are heir to divine promises. From now on, focus your faith on the true source of wealth, not on your job, not on the crisis, not on what others say, but on the God who governs all things. Because when you fully trust in Him, the entire heaven moves in your favor, and abundance will become visible in all areas of your life. Chosen one, understand one thing. Your prosperity doesn't come from your boss, your salary, the government, or any earthly system. The true source of your abundance comes from God. He already decreed your provision even before you were born. The problem is that many times people look in the wrong place and end up living below what was prepared for them. If you've been placing your trust in human effort, hard work, and constant struggle, know that there is a much greater source of provision available to you. God has already released everything you need to live without limitations. But to access this abundance, you need to recognize and connect with the true origin of your wealth. What changed? He stopped trusting in self-effort and started trusting in God's word. That's the key that unlocks true prosperity. The Lord has already released a word over your life, and when you align with that word, the harvest comes without suffering. Many people live like Peter before the miracle, working hard, trying everything, but seeing no results. This happens because they're trusting only in the strength of their arms. But God wants you to understand that His blessing is what really makes the difference. When the Lord's blessing is upon your life, opportunities come without you having to chase after them, doors open without explanation, resources reach you in unexpected ways. Look around you. There are people who work tirelessly and remain trapped in scarcity. But there are also those who, even without extreme effort, live in constant prosperity. What's the difference? The difference is that some trust only in themselves, while others trust in the God of provision. But to access this source, you need to change your mindset. As long as you continue to believe that you need to struggle alone, that you need to carry all the weight on your shoulders, you'll remain limited. But when you decide to fully trust in God, a new flow of provision begins to manifest. From today, stop looking at your bank account and start looking at the God who owns the gold and silver. Stop fearing the future and start trusting in the divine plan for your life. Because when God releases something over you, there is no crisis, no limitation, no obstacle that can prevent it. You were chosen to live this abundance. God has already released your provision, already prepared the resources, already organized the scenario for your harvest. Now, all you need to do is align your faith and position yourself to receive. The time of scarcity is over. Chosen one, the time has come for you to understand a powerful truth. Your prosperity doesn't depend on the circumstances around you. It doesn't matter what the news says, what the numbers show, or what people around you believe. Who is in command of your wealth isn't the system, isn't the economy, isn't chance. It's God. If He has already decreed your abundance, no force can prevent it from manifesting. But to live this reality, you need to align your mind with this truth. Many people remain trapped in scarcity because they still live in fear of lack, bound to worries and insecurities. But when you recognize that your wealth has already been determined, something changes within you. Stop worrying about what could go wrong. Anxiety is a thief of opportunities. When you focus on fear, you close the doors to abundance. But when you position yourself in the certainty that God is already moving everything in your favor, paths open, opportunities arrive, and money begins to flow in your direction. People around you may doubt. They may say you dream too big, that you're expecting something impossible, but they don't know what God has already decreed. What is about to happen in your life will surprise many. You will be living proof that faith generates real results. that prosperity comes to those who trust without hesitation. The time of struggle is over. Now is the time of favor. While others try to open doors with their own strength, the right doors will open for you naturally. What seemed difficult will begin to flow with ease. The answers that once took time will now come quickly, because when God takes control, the impossible becomes inevitable. Begin to act as someone who has already received wealth. The money is already coming to you. The promotion has already been released. The contract has already been signed in the spiritual world. Now, you just need to keep your mind aligned with this certainty. Because what you believe with conviction becomes your reality. Stay alert. In the coming days, you'll see clear signs that something has changed. Unexpected opportunities, the right people appearing in your path, solutions that once seemed distant coming without effort. All this is the manifestation of the decree that has already been made in your favor. Nothing can stop this movement. Not contrary opinions, not temporary challenges, not momentary doubts. When God decides to act, no opposing force can prevent it, and He has already decided. Your abundance is decreed. Chosen one, listen carefully. The time of endless struggle is over. You weren't created to live chasing after money, always trying to do more, always wearing yourself out without seeing progress. This scarcity mindset doesn't belong to you. Money shouldn't be a burden in your life, but a resource that flows to you naturally. And from now on, that's exactly what will begin to happen. Many people live under the illusion that they need to work more, try harder, make extreme sacrifices to have prosperity. But the secret isn't in excessive work, but in alignment with abundance. When you understand this, the game changes. Money will no longer be something difficult, distant, or impossible. On the contrary, it will begin to come to you without you having to chase after it. This happens because wealth has a flow, and those who are aligned with this flow attract everything naturally. When you stop vibrating at the frequency of lack and start vibrating in the certainty of abundance, money finds ways to reach you. Business flows, clients appear, opportunities arise without explanation. You become a magnet for prosperity, but for this, you need to abandon the struggle mentality. As long as you believe you need to kill yourself working to be prosperous, you'll be trapped in this cycle. But when you accept that your abundance has already been released, doors open and the financial flow begins to run in your direction. Don't confuse this with passivity. This doesn't mean you should cross your arms and wait. It means you need to act with intelligence, strategy, and confidence. It means that instead of desperately chasing, you begin to attract. You act at the right time, in the right way, with the right connections, and results come much more easily. From this moment, begin to see yourself as someone who no longer needs to chase after money because money is already looking for you. Stop thinking about how you're going to pay bills, how you're going to survive, how you're going to get more money. These thoughts keep you trapped in scarcity. Instead, visualize your bank account overflowing. Feel the certainty that you have more than enough. Because when your mind believes, your reality begins to change. In the coming days, you'll see changes happening. You'll notice that what seemed impossible begins to manifest. Opportunities will arise from nowhere. People will come to you with proposals you didn't even expect. Unexpected money will begin to arrive. This isn't coincidence. It's the response to your alignment with abundance. Now ask yourself, am I really ready for this transformation? Because if you are, then get ready. Money will begin to look for you. The flow of prosperity has been activated in your life, and from now on, nothing will be the same. Chosen one, listen carefully. What happened in your life wasn't temporary, wasn't luck, wasn't coincidence. The change that began is permanent. You broke the cycle of scarcity and entered the flow of abundance. And now there's no going back. The time of lack is behind you. You're no longer a person who struggles to survive, but someone who lives to prosper. This new reality is already manifesting around you. Opportunities continue to arise, paths continue to open, and prosperity continues to flow in your direction. Not because you're chasing after it, but because now money, stability, and growth are part of your new state of being. If at any moment a thought of doubt arises, remember, you will never return to scarcity. What was transformed within you is irreversible. Your mindset has been renewed, and the way you see life has completely changed. Now, you no longer see obstacles, you see opportunities. You no longer see lack, you see infinite possibilities, and that is the true secret of lasting wealth. From today, you will no longer be affected by fear of the future, because you know that provision will always come. You will never again be desperate looking at your finances, because now you have complete certainty that money will always be available, and more. It will continue to grow, multiply, and expand your life in ways you can't even imagine. People around you will notice this change. They will see that something different happened to you. Before, you lived worried, insecure, fearing tomorrow. Now, you exude confidence. Before, you clung to a fixed salary, to a single source of income. Now you understand that the universe is unlimited and that new sources of wealth will always arise. What changed? You accepted your identity as a prosperous person. You understood that abundance has always been available, and now you are connected to it forever. And when this transformation happens within you, there is no way back. Some may even try to discourage you. They may say this is all temporary, that crisis may return, that abundance may end. But you know the truth. The only thing that can limit your prosperity is your own mind. And now that your mind has been renewed, there are no more barriers, no more blockages, no more regression. You will never return to scarcity, because now you know how to activate and maintain the flow of abundance in your life. You know that the key is in the mindset, in confidence, in the unwavering certainty that money will always come and that you will always have more than enough. What comes next? Continuous growth. What is happening now is not a momentary peak of prosperity. It's an ascending cycle that will never end. Your business will continue to expand. Your sources of income will continue to increase. Your assets will continue to grow. And all this will happen without extreme effort, without despair, without fear, just flowing in the perfect rhythm of abundance. In the coming days, you'll see even clearer signs of this new phase. Unexpected money, surprising opportunities, people who will appear to take you to new financial levels. You will realize that the more you align with abundance, the more it expands in your life. And most importantly, you will become a living example that it is possible to break with scarcity and live in a permanent state of prosperity. Other people will look at you and say, "What happened? How did your life change so much?" And you will answer with confidence, "Because I understood that abundance was already mine all along. I just accepted and allowed it to manifest." Now move forward with this absolute certainty. You will never return to scarcity. Your harvest will have no end. Your growth will be constant. Your financial life will be a living testimony that true prosperity is a definitive state. The best is yet to come, and this time, nothing can stop it. Chosen one, the time of manifestation has arrived. You waited, you believed, and now you stand before the most powerful moment of your journey. The harvest has come. What once seemed distant, what seemed impossible, what many doubted, all of this now becomes reality before your eyes. Stop for a moment and feel this truth. There is a movement around you. You cannot see it with natural eyes, but something is already happening. The universe has already received your declaration of faith. The doors that were closed have begun to open. The paths that were once blocked are now free. This is the time to reap all that was sown. For a long time, you fought against doubt, against fear, against uncertainty. But that phase is over. The new has come, and it comes loaded with prosperity, peace, and stability. Now, your financial life will no longer be a battlefield, but a harvest field. Money will no longer be a problem, but a tool for you to live fully and fulfill the greater purpose of your existence. Abundance has always been available to you. What prevented you from accessing this reality was the scarcity mindset. But now your mind is transformed. You no longer think like someone who suffers and struggles, but as someone who reaps and multiplies. And this inner change is what makes everything align in the outer world. See what's happening around you. In the coming days, you'll begin to notice clear signs that your harvest has arrived. Opportunities arising from nowhere, unexpected money coming in, proposals that were once impossible finally materializing. And you'll know this isn't chance, this isn't luck. This is the result of your change in consciousness and your connection with abundance. But attention, many, when they begin to harvest, still maintain the scarcity mindset and end up losing everything. This cannot happen to you. Now that the harvest has begun, you need to act as someone who knows how to manage wealth. Don't be afraid to invest, to multiply, to use your resources wisely. The money that reaches you shouldn't just be consumed, but also planted to generate more fruit. And remember, the more you share, the more you receive. Abundance expands when you distribute it. Generosity is one of the most powerful secrets of prosperity. The more you become a channel of blessings, the more blessings flow to you. Because abundance isn't a stagnant lake, but a river that is always in motion. So prepare yourself. If your harvest has already begun, this means a new cycle will also begin. With each phase, you'll rise one more level. What is coming now is just the beginning. The flow of wealth has been activated in your life, and it only tends to grow. You'll see that each day will be more prosperous than the previous one. The time of waiting is over. Abundance is yours, prosperity is yours, and nothing can prevent this. Now walk with this certainty, because from today your financial life will never be the same again.